Before this video starts, I'd like to mention a few things. Firstly, this video was inspired by those X minutes of useless information videos about a certain genre that you may have seen pop up on your recommendations. Reminder, this video is exactly what the title says, completely useless. Unless you get inspired to do your own stories for one of these entries, good for you. Without further ado, let's begin. Many fans have theorized the two episodes that replaced Percy's promise and the missing coach during the production were Better Late Than Never and Thomas and Trevor. However, in recent years, it's been heavily hinted that it was in fact Daisy and Percy's predicament that were the last 2-minute additions to Season 2. This would make sense as Thomas Comes to Breakfast's book reveals that Boko was the diesel who arrived after Thomas's accident, and not Daisy. There is also a behind-the-scenes photo featuring Boko at Titmushed's with Thomas and Percy that was never seen on screen. In addition, it is very clear that the Daisy episodes were made during the end of Season 2, as Daisy was seen on a very few sets that have been proven to be filmed later on, such as Elsbridge. Her nameboard sequence was also filmed at the Old Harbour and not at Titmuth, much like the others. Lastly, Daisy uses Boko's faces and chassis, meaning she was the last model built. In the episode Bowled Out, according to VHS and YouTube channel descriptions, D261 was brought into Sodor to fill in for Daisy while she was ill. This fact, however, as we know, was never present in the original story. It's been noted that Mavis was seen a lot in the background during Season 5 and was even used when filming runaway sequences off camera according to the rushes. This was due to her being the most reliable runner. They would use her, or her chassis, as in busy going backwards, to assist in situations like runaways. Neil Crone has sung variations of the Old MacDonald song twice in a Thomas production.
Old MacDiesel had a plan. With a pinch here and a pinch there, here a pinch, there a pinch. I crack myself up. Old McCall had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
Out of all the engines numbered 1 to 12, Douglas is the only character to never be mentioned by name in a song, since Oliver along with Duck were name dropped in Little Engines. Duck was also mentioned in Thomas's anthem, while Donald had a song to himself in Donald's Duck. A poster of pre-mobile vegetable stand Bulgy can be seen at Kelstrop Station in the 10th season Topped Off Thomas. According to the Season 10 scripts, the episode Big Strong Henry was supposed to have an additional scene with Emily and Henry but was probably cut for time. A promo picture of said scene can be found on the wiki. This would explain Emily's heavy presence in both the start and the end of the episode. In addition to the Season 10 scripts, there was a cut line in the episode Edward Strikes Out from Gordon explaining why he was in a rush down the main line before he crashed. He was going to collect the express. During the production of Season 12, Ben's model underwent repairs due to his roof being damaged. In the episode, Gordon takes a shortcut. We know it had to be the 12th season as the picture was taken during November 2007, a year before said season was released. James has hit and crashed buffers 3 times during his appearance in the Nitrogen era, those episodes being Pinky Pongy Pickup, Pop Goes Thomas, and Flash Bang Wallop. Perhaps he was practicing for the events of the fastest red engine on Sodor. According to the character biography made by the production of Series 17, Sydney arrived on Sodor by mistake by following Paxton and Norman onto a steamship, eventually arriving on the island. Nitrogen made Sydney for Day of the Diesels in 2011, but he wasn't rigged until his Season 17 episode, when ARC took over the animation of the show. This statement is further supported as Sydney moves notably slower than Paxton, even when they're going at the same speed, so he was probably rigged by ARC and not Nitrogen. Him left hanging in the diesel works was probably a cover-up excuse that they were unable to rig him in time for the movie. On April 1st, 2011, this tweet was made by the official Thomas and Friends Twitter page, acknowledging Molly and some sort of wedding. Have no idea what this was on about. It's been heavily speculated that Belle wasn't part of the search and rescue team during the Nitrogen era. Her being part of the team during the Brenner era is believed to be a misapprehension about the character and likely started during Series 17 and King of the Railway. There are a lot of points to back this claim up. Unlike characters like Flynn and Butch, Belle doesn't carry the Sodor Search and Rescue Center logo. In the episode Welcome Stafford, an episode which showcases the search and rescue team all at once, Belle isn't present. In many of her appearances during the Nitrogen era, Belle is seen pulling trains like any other engine. During season 15, even after Belle's debut, there are multiple episodes where an engine becomes a rescue engine for the day, those engines being Thomas, Edward, Toby, and James. None of them acknowledge Belle in their retrospective episodes. To add on to the idea that Belle doesn't respond to emergencies, she's never the character that brings Rocky anywhere. It is usually Rosie. The only time we have seen her at the search and rescue center was during the movie Day of the Diesels, where she is helping Flynn set up as it is his first time at the rescue center. There's several more claims that continue to support this theory by this user. Links to their thread will be in the description. The first appearance of the official Sodor flag was in the special King of the Railway. The Fat Controller's assistants were last seen in the fastest red engine on Sodor and haven't been seen ever since. Not suppose cameos by random workers, since they do make minor appearances in some Boba episodes, albeit not as bodyguards. Another fact about this episode is that this line from Emily,
"Here's James!" Oh. Hey, Emily!
Hello, James.
is reused from the season 20 episode Pouty James.
Here's James! I'm ready for my coaches!
Hello, James.
Theo was considered to be voiced by an autistic Thomas fan during the production of Journey Beyond Sodor, but the crew decided against it after realizing it might send the wrong message about autistic people being experimental, so it was saved for Bruno to be the first. In the beginning episode of Forever and Ever, the two birds seen flying away are meant to represent Edward and Henry leaving Tidmouth Sheds. In the Big Book of Engines encyclopedia, it is stated that the character Gabriella loves to gossip and she can occasionally get ahead of herself when doing so by sharing stuff she shouldn't share, something that the canon television series never mentioned. Shame they didn't implement this characteristic when they had the chance, as it would have been very interesting to see. The 75th anniversary, the Royal Engine script, was originally twice as long, around 40 minutes of runtime, according to the writer of the episode, Michael White, and would have featured more returnees from Journey Beyond Sodor. However, they were cut later for time, hence why there are CGI orthos of the character Lexi with the Big World lighting. In the Big World Big Adventures era, Thomas didn't physically appear in a total of 4 episodes. Those episodes being Hearts of Gold, Diesel Glows Away, First Day on Sodor, and Nia and the Unfriendly Elephant. The writing crew considered numbering Emily number 13 in respect to Harvey being the official 12th steam engine to join the railway, but Mattel decided against it as it had an unlucky connotation, so they went with the number 12. According to the former creator of All Engines Go, Rick Suvail, Kana and Kenji were going to be siblings but was dropped because it would be strange in regards to young viewers' eyes for one sibling to live all the way in Japan while the other one doesn't. All Engines Go breaks its own rules by heavily implying Kenji lives on the mainland anyway, so it wouldn't have really mattered if they wrote them off as siblings.
Tracks in Sodor are too twisty and turny and curvy. That's what slows you down. You need a long, straight track like we have on the mainland.
Kenji, I have you taking passengers on the full island loop with last stop at Vickerstown before you take the bridge to the mainland.
Speaking of All Engines Go, did you know that the show had a Railway series only location? Cannonball Curve was inspired by Devil's Back from the Railway series, which Rick Suvail wanted to bring to the screen, but the word devil was not appropriate for young viewers, so it had to be changed. During a Zoom interview with a show writer, in regards to how the story ideas from All Engines Go's 3rd and 4th season are created, he said, and I quote, "Thomas gets into a knife fight when he's at Peel Godred, and he's okay, but he kills a guy." When being approached by a fan on Twitter asking the former creator of All Engines Go, Rick Suvail, asking where the grown-up engines of the reboot stay at, he stated that he never got far enough to create a concept like that, but if it were up to him, it would be Knapford Sheds. Guess Knapford Sheds is canon to All Engines Go now. In Season 3's episode All for the Nest, when offering the character Tess some help, it is stated by Carly that altogether, Thomas, Nia, Diesel, Kana, Sandy, and Carly have 42 wheels in total.
How can we lighten your load? We are ready to lend a wheel. Or 42 wheels. What? That's how many wheels we all have.
Well, she was wrong. In actuality, there are 38. However, there may be more of a solid reasoning behind this. It is speculated by fans that Percy may have been cut from the episode. Earlier, when Carly loses control and starts spinning, a scream from Percy's voice actor can be heard, despite him not having a physical appearance in the scene. Interestingly enough, Percy is the only main cast member outside of Bruno to not be part of the episode. To add on to that, when Carly mistakenly says the group has 42 wheels, she was 4 wheels short. If Percy was in the episode, who has a total of 4, which would make up the number, it would make sense. And that was 10 minutes of useless Thomas information. I've noticed that nobody in the fandom has hopped onto this trend yet, so I thought I could be the first to do so. Call this YouTube slop content if you want, but as an exhausted student, sometimes I love nothing more than to just zone out to useless trivia of my favorite franchise. Thank you for watching. Be sure to let me know if you knew any facts you learned from this video.